After you've isolated your single rope and locked it down on the far end with an anchor, you're going to want to tie on your floating false crotch, which will travel up and down your single rope. Here I'm using an I&I Prusik made out of 3/8 inch Tenex, and from there I will hang a 2-inch Petzl rescue pulley. And it's in that pulley that I'll run my traditional climbing line. After attaching your false crotch, you can now install your climbing line through the pulley. Also, you'll want to tie your own termination knot for attaching it to your harness. For this climb, I've chosen to use a bowline with a Yosemite finish. Though time consuming, the importance of setting and dressing your knots cannot be emphasized enough. Also, the use of proper hardware, such as a tri-act carabiner, to attach the endpoint of your rope to your saddle is very important. Again, setting and dressing your knots. Here we're attaching our friction hitch, and today I'm going to also be using a swabish for this, using 10x cord with an I&I. Normally I would use a minder pulley to tend my friction hitch, but for this demonstration I have chosen to leave it off. Once your friction hitch has been tied, you want to choose the proper hardware to attach it to your saddle. Again, hardware choice is personal but important. In this case, I've chosen to go with a separate carabiner, again another tri-act for this purpose. With our doubled rope system now firmly attached to our saddle, we can check our Prusik hitches, make sure that they're dressed, set, and not slipping. Now we can attach ourselves to the single rope system. First, we attach the single rope to one of the rollers on our chest roller. The next item is a foot ascender. Here I'm using a Petzl Panton, and in the little hole there I'm going to put in an accessory carabiner. That will just lock the cam so it can't come undone unexpectedly. I take a brief moment to push the Prusik up to make sure my double rope system is tight, and now we put on the third part of our rope walking system. This is for the knee ascender, just a simple chicken loop, and we're going to attach the tether on the midline ascender to that. We'll do that with just a carabiner. Any carabiner will work, but I use a triple lock here. And then there's a bungee cord on the top part of the knee ascender, which we will take and attach to a loop that's tied onto the roller harness. The bungee will allow the ascender to advance every time I lift my knee up. Attach the knee ascender to the line. Now we have our foot ascender, our knee ascender, and our roller in place. Get our hands on and start walking. We want to keep our hands below our secret weapon, so if we slip we don't pull it down. You also want to keep the secret weapon above your chest roller. That way if something fails and you slide down, your chest roller will not hit the knot and will not let you take a free ride down. When it's time to stop and work, you stop, you tighten up the slack on your doubled rope system. You may want to double check that your false crotch is far enough up so that way you can transfer your weight onto the doubled rope system. Sit down, disconnect your chest roller to free up the single rope line. Then you come over and you disconnect your knee ascender, raise your foot, and disconnect the foot ascender. Having done this, you are now on your doubled roped traditional climbing system, and all you need to do is work your friction hitch to move down or to body thrust up, or whatever other methods you choose to use to move around the tree. To get back on the single rope system, all you have to do is reattach your chest roller, foot ascender, step up on your foot ascender, and attach your knee ascender. and away you go, climbing back up again. To transfer back over to doubled rope, you set your false crotch up as high as you can, making sure to take the slack out of the system. Sit down on your doubled rope system and disconnect. Take off the roller, foot ascender, and now your knee ascender. And you're almost ready to work, but what we need to do is throw in a marling spike. Marling spike is basically a knot that prevents your friction hitch or false crotch from sliding down the single rope. It's an important thing to put in. We didn't put it in the first stop, but it is important to note that every time you stop to work, you need to put one in. And then you're free to work. And at this point, I'm just going to rappel out using my doubled rope traditional system, leaving the single rope system in place.